Testing, testing. Sorry for the breakup. Testing, testing. Sorry for the breakup. Sorry. Welcome back to the Motive Racing YouTube channel, everybody. We are here for round 5 of the GT5 Championship. We're here at Sonoma National this evening. Sonoma is known for, well, it's a very, very hot part of the world, obviously in the middle of the desert here in the USA. So we've had to make this one a night race in order for the track temperatures to become anything other than unbearable, so these guys can really give a fight and wrestle these cars to their limits. As we see, currently sat on provisional pole position is Deck Paint, who has been really taking the Motive Racing League by storm here in the last few races. He's taken dominant wins, as we see. That's not very good from Deck Paint, but yeah, as I say, he's been taking some dominant victories lately. Latest of these was on Tuesday night at Monaco, where he absolutely, I know he did keep it out on the track. So yeah, Monaco on Tuesday night, you may have watched it, you may have not. If not, check it out. But he really ran away with the race in that one. Won by about, I think, 35-40 seconds. So it was Aries Umbro who came second, and he was a long way back behind him. But Deck Paint also did a good job here on Monday at the Brickyard for the GTE Championship. Managed to take the W in that one as well, despite being taken out midway through the race. So this young man from Yorkshire in the UK, currently doing a fantastic job. Can he go even faster here at the end of qualifying? He's already got 9/10 of a second on his nearest pursuer here, Stefano. He comes over the line and he can't improve, but it doesn't matter. It's still pole position for Deck Paint as it stands. Stefano has done a good lap, currently sat on the front row of the grid in 9/10 of a second off a pole. We got we've got two pros in here. Let's check and see which one it is. We've got one of the pros on third place, his teammate lining up alongside him on the second row. In fact, no, Kurt Hodgson doing an excellent lap there at the end of the session and managing to put himself on the second row there alongside Pro Fubby. Pro Alpha and Swiss Tony lining up behind these guys. Then we've got Smoky Devil, Gypsy George, Evan and Miztech behind them. And looks like that they round out the top 10. We've got Aries Umbro and at the back of the field. Looks like we're almost about to get going here for Tier 2 of Motive Racing's GT5 Championship. Guys, if you haven't already, then be sure to hit that sub, like and bell button on YouTube. If you want to join us here at Motive, then all you need to do is click on our Discord link. If you go to our YouTube channel homepage, there's a Discord link at the top. You've also got our Instagram, Twitter and all that jazz. Anyway, enough about that. We're about to get going here for the race. Let's just take a very quick screenshot of these qualifying results. Deck Point picking up the extra point there for fastest lap. So as I say, night race here, we're under the lights here at Sonoma, which is going to make it even more interesting. Hopefully the visibility stays good for these guys. The track temperature should be a lot more manageable than it would have otherwise been had we held the race in the daytime like it was scheduled to be. Unfortunately, we did have to make a very last minute change to make sure that we kept the track temperature at a good temperature, and we made the change to move the race to night time, which hopefully will prove to be an inspired decision. Let's have a look at the comments section and see what the guys are saying. Oni Sakara says, delighted to see a lot less of a delay tonight and a night race. Yes, indeed, Sakara. It's good to see, and as I say, we've already said the reason why that's happening, but hopefully it proves to be the right decision. James Briggs says, go on, Kurt. You're not last, second to last. Well, Kurt's in 5th now, James, by the looks of it, and that was with a 2-place grid penalty, or a 1-place grid penalty, should I say. So, all things considered, that's a good performance there from Kurt Hodgson. Sat in 5th place on the grid as we're about to go lights out here. Sebastian says in the comments here, Sebastian Gonzalez says, come on, guys. Seb obviously usually is my co-commentator here at Motive, but unfortunately unable to join us this evening. Bowie says, my internet popped out again. Very unfortunate there for Bowie. Looks like he's going to miss out on the race. That's desperately unlucky for him. Seb also says, make sure you stay at home. If Andy reads this, he needs to go bald. I think it's you that needs to go bald. You're the one that made the bet, Seb. Go, Kurt. Brilliant driving last time. Can't wait, says Sakara. Looks like we are about to go racing here at Sonoma for round 5. And lights are out and away we go. It looks like a good start there from Deck Paint. Gets away very, very nicely. Likewise, Sebastefano, Pro Alpha on the inside holding... Oh, sorry, Fabi on the inside there. Looks like we got Kurt Hodgson getting jumped off the line. Pro Fabi there getting a poor start. Or Pro Alpha, sorry, getting a poor start. Down to 6th place. Evan having a look at him as they come through turn 2. And we see Deck Paint here leading the pack. But Sebastefano is going to tuck in behind him. Swiss Tony makes a fantastic start. Up into 3rd place already. What a start from Swiss Tony. But it's tagged a little bit there. From that, it was Pro Fabi there just tagging him very, very slightly. And Swiss Tony just about holding it here ahead of him. But Pro Fabi now finding himself open to attack here from Pro Alpha as they come through turn 4. And you can see there in the background Kurt Hodgson getting pushed way out. And now he's down to 6th place. Poor start here from Kurt Hodgson at the beginning of the race. Evan right behind these guys just waiting in the wings. We've got Smoky Devil, Gypsy George, Miztech and Aries Umbro starting at the back of the field, having had to miss qualifying. So we've got Deck Paint still leading the pack, but Sebastefano really hounding him as they come around the first half a lap here and up towards this hairpin, or should I say more like a U-bend rather than a hairpin. And they're going to be hard on the brakes. You can see here Deck Paint not able to shake off the challenge here of Sebas. We know that Deck Paint has had things pretty much to himself here in the past week here at Motive, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that way tonight, because he's got Sebas really, really hounding the back of him here as we come through the S's. In the background, what's happening with Swiss Tony? Looks like he's coming under heavy pressure now from Evan. Evan is right up his bumper. They're going to go very, very close here, coming through this middle sector here, and they can see they're going to go heavy on the brakes as they come round towards this right-hander, which is usually it's an extended run round to the pit wall, but in this track, the shortened version, the national circuit, it's a little bit of a different configuration. As you can see there, Swiss Tony getting a little bit out of shape, and it looks like Evans lost the position there to Kurt. Kurt's going to try and go around the outside here. Can Kurt Hodgson make it stick? Here he goes, side by side here, coming into this final corner. You can see there he has to tuck in and try and avoid Evan trying to go up the inside, but it looks like Swiss Tony's got very loose and has allowed, a bit of a banging of cars there, but Kurt Hodgson looks like he's through here coming onto the pit straight. Swiss Tony tucks in behind. Evan looks like he lost out massively there. So it's Pro Alpha and P6. Pro Alpha is making his way back through, driving in the green Ginetta there. His teammate also in the green Ginetta, so that is just going to make things even more difficult. Let's see, Pro Alpha is number 20 and Pro Fabi is number 19. Okay, we have to try and remember that. So in the meantime, anyway, it looks like Pro Fabi is very, very close here behind Aries Umbro as they come through to complete the first sector. And you can see there Evans lost out to Pro Alpha as well, so he's definitely struggling now with Evan. He was right up the back of Swiss Tony and Kurt Hodgson just a lap or two ago. In the meantime though, let's have a look at the battle between Swiss Tony and Kurt Hodgson. Swiss Tony is making, I guess he's another reappearance here at Motive Racing. He's been an on and off driver, but it sounds like he's going to be with us for the foreseeable future for the time being, which is great for us. It's a good guy to have on track, ridiculously fast in the Clios. I've raced with him before in online public lobbies. He's got lots and lots of talent in these lower powered cars, but you can see here Kurt Hodgson doing a good job of pulling that gap. It's now got just under a second here ahead of Swiss Tony, but he's still not allowing him to run away with it at the moment. Great stuff as we see here. It looks like Evans got way out of the way there. Maybe a slowdown penalty as he came through the hairpin, and now that's allowed Aries Umbro to pick up 2nd place. And you can still see there 3rd, 4th and 5th, not too far ahead of Aries Umbro. Started at the back of the field in this qualifying session here for round 5, and as I say, you know, he's got lots of pace. Finished 2nd in the Clio Cup race at Monaco earlier in the week, and was the only one who, well, I'd say he didn't really keep Deck Paint in sight, but he was the only one who stopped that gap from becoming, you know, ridiculous. He managed to stay within 30 seconds of him. But yeah, Aries Umbro doing a good job here. He's making his way back through, started at the back, and it looks like he's cutting through the pack. He's now got Kurt Hodgson, Swiss Tony and Pro Alpha within his sights here on lap 3 of this race. We're 5 minutes into this half an hour sprint race here. This is tier 2 of Motive Racing, ladies and gentlemen. Tier 1 will be coming up at 8 o'clock straight after this one. Stay tuned for that, but this is tier 2, and currently Deck Paint showing the way out the front of the field, and he's doing a fantastic job here. Is this young 17-year-old from Yorkshire in the UK, and we've seen him on Project Cars 2 delivering the goods many times from out the front. It remains to be seen what he's going to be like in a pack racing alongside others, if indeed he does manage to get promotion to tier 1 next season. But for the time being, he's really making the most of this opportunity to show what he can do out front and getting the hammer down. We can see Sebastefano not letting him run away though, still pretty close behind as they come through towards the S section. So this isn't race over here. Deck Paint last time around did a 144.8. Sebastefano with a 45.1, so 3 tenths of a second separated these guys last time around. It's going very late on the brakes there, and you can see deck paint almost getting a little bit out of shape. That may have been just a tiny bit of lag here at this stage in the race, but it's as you were. Deck paint still leading the race. Sebastefano not too far behind him, and Aries Umbro looks like he's closing onto the back here of Oh, Profabi's spun. Profabi's lost the car. We've got a yellow flag there, and it looks like he's got it pointing in the right direction again, but that is a disaster there for Profabi. He's managed to get it going once again. He's going to now fall back into the clutches of Gypsy George, who is tearing after him through this final sector now. And Evan looks like his race has gone absolutely pear-shaped here in this one. He's now running down in P8, 27 seconds off the leader. Hopefully he can get it sorted out and make his way back through, but I'm not putting my money on it at this stage. As we see Pro Alpha looks like he's falling off the back here of Aries, but Aries must have made a mistake there coming through the sector 1, because he's lost time here to Pro Alpha. Pro Alpha now 4 seconds ahead of him. You could see that Aries was closing that gap until a couple of laps ago, so not sure what was going on there, but he's definitely lost out a lot of time. But in the meantime, we've got Sebastefano closing that gap out front to our leader Deck Paint. The gap now 0.6 of a second. You can see that Deck Paint is just managing it though. He's managed to hold out for a time being. Last time around, 0.9 of a second separated these guys when they came round to cross the line on lap 4. So they're very, very evenly matched. Really hardly anything to separate these two boys out front. Deck Paint doing a great job, but Sebas not letting him get away. And Deck Paint, as we said earlier, has really had more or less everything go his way this week in the Clio Cup. He took a resounding victory in the Tier 2 race at Monaco. Took the win at Indy Road Course for Tier 3 of our GTE Championship. And as I say, he's just not had this one all to himself. Sebastefano's still sticking to him like glue and not letting him run off into the distance. This is lap 4 here of the Tier 2 race. Guys, if you're just joining us here on the Motive Racing YouTube channel, then be sure to subscribe to us and join us on Discord if you want to get involved in the racing here. We're exclusively on the PlayStation 4 platform and Project Cars 2. Well worth getting involved with, lots and lots of leagues and different cars for you guys to get excited about and join us with. As we see, Deck Paint responded very, very slightly that last time. Oh, Sebas gets very loose there, coming through the coming up the hill through the first sector, and he's going to have to go again here. Looks like he's lost about a second to Deck Paint. That will have bought Deck Paint just a little bit of time here in this race. But having said that, they've been nip and tuck, and the pace between these guys not much at all. So if Deck Paint makes one little mistake, that will allow Sebas to close right up to him and be in with a fight again. So as I say, very, very evenly matched here out the front, but Sebas definitely not what the doctor ordered there for him. In the meantime though, we've got a hell of a battle here going on for P5. It looks like Aries Umbro still trying to hold off a charging Pro. Is it Pro Fabi or Pro Alpha? Let's go trackside and have a look at the number and see on the car. It looks like that is Pro Alpha, I believe. I'm sure it is. No, it's Pro Fabi. I do apologise. So Pro Fabi still, they're both running the same livery, guys, and they got the same abbreviation. I do apologise. But yeah, as you can see, he's still doing a good job here of sticking to the back here of Aries Umbro, and barely anything now separating these guys as they come around the middle sector. And you see there, just Fabi having a little look there on Aries Umbro, but Aries Umbro not taking the bait. Aries Umbro started qualifying, had to go and do something else, and it's good to have him on the track here. It was going to be a bit close as to whether or not he made it in time, but he did get there in the end, which we're very, very happy about. And he's trying to fend off Pro Fabi here on lap 4 of this race. Barely anything separating these guys as they come around. But yeah, I would like to take this opportunity to say, oh, as we see there, it looks like Pro Fabi's going to go on the inside there. Aries Umbro, he gets very, very loose there, coming through the second to last quarter, and that is the position gained there for Pro Fabi, and now he's up into P5. Great stuff there between those guys. It looks like in the end, Aries Umbro just getting a little bit out of shape, and that has allowed Pro Fabi to pick up the position and move up into P5. Some good points there currently in the position that he is in. But I'm sure Aries Umbro will be wanting to fight back here in the latter half of this race. There's still only 10 minutes into this race for Tier 2 at Motive Racing, and anything can happen. It's a long, long race here at Sonoma. Out the front of the field, it looks like Deck Paint's managed to pull a gap of 3.6 seconds to our man in P2, Sebastefano. Let's see if we can get an eye on Deck Paint. There's Deck Paint. and you can see if we'll get in the same picture if we can. Yep, Stefano following them through. Then in third we've got Hodgson. Now these three guys separated by 7 seconds, and Deck Paint, Stefano and Hodgson really do appear to be a class above the rest of the field here. We've got the two pro teammates in 4th and 5th, but I would say at this stage in the season it's really looking like Deck Paint, Seb and Hodgson must be the favourites to get promotion to the Big Boy League Tier 1 come the end of the season. It's a long old season and anything can happen, but we are in the penultimate round, so it's really, if these guys want to do anything and to stake their claim to get into the top league, then now is their chance to do it. And I'm sure that all these guys are out to impress here with just a round and well, we're now a round and a half to go, but technically 2 rounds, as we see Hodgson come under the brakes here. And let's keep an eye on the split times. Deck Paint with a 1:46 dead this time around. Stefano comes over a 1:46.3. So Deck Paint still setting fastest laps of the race. Slightly responded that time around. Obviously, the previous lap he had an absolute mare and dropped way behind our race leader, but he's sort of got it together here in the past lap or so, just slightly. But still, Deck Paint doing a fantastic job here of just gradually driving off into the distance, not putting a foot wrong. And when he's out in front all by himself, Deck Paint really shows what sort of pace he's got. And he's been the king of the non-tier 1 races in the last couple of weeks. Tier 3 in the GTEs on Monday. He was absolutely killing it on Tier 2 in the Clios on Monaco. He dominated that race round the streets of the Principality, took a victory by over 40 seconds to a closest man, Aries Umbro, in second. So great stuff here from Deck Paint. That's a joy to watch, and hopefully we can see plenty more of him if he does indeed get up to Tier 1 next season, which is looking very, very likely, like he will. In the meantime though, we have got an unbelievable battle going on here between the two pro teammates. Pro Alpha currently leading Pro Fubby, but Pro Fubby is looking all over the back of him. Or is it in fact Fubby in front of Alpha? I think it might be actually. I think Pro Fubby might have got ahead. In fact, he has. I was just having a look there because Pro Alpha's last lap time was 8 seconds off of his teammates, so I thought there must have been a position swap at some point, and indeed there has. Whether or not that's team orders or the team saying to those guys, look, there's no point in you fighting, he's obviously faster than you, it's Fubby, let him through to Alpha. And whatever the case or the scenario, it looks like there has been a swap initiated, and Pro Fubby now is released into some clean air, but he's 11 seconds behind our man in P3, Hodgson, so it looks like it's pretty unlikely that we're going to see him make any gains or any position changes in these last few laps, but anything can happen. I wouldn't write it off just yet, as we see here Fubby coming around to complete what is lap 7 of this race, and we're on to lap 8, and we're almost halfway through this Tier 2 race here on the Motive Racing channel for our GT5 Championship. Guys, if anyone's interested in joining Motive Racing, then be sure to go to our Discord link, which is on our YouTube homepage, and get involved in the action. Plenty of exciting new action to get involved with in our coming season. Season 2 at Motive Racing is due to be starting on May the 4th, 2020. So that is just over 3 weeks time. Be starting with the GTE Championship. Season 1 is set to finish next week actually, on the Monday, or 10 days time. Season 1 will be ending, and then literally within 2 weeks of that we'll be getting going for Season 2. And our sign up link is all over PlayStation. You can also check it out on our Discord. If you join our Discord, you can go to our championship sign up. It's a Google form, and you must be a member of our Discord in order to complete it. But definitely worth getting involved with. We're just seeing a hashtag starting to trend in the comments section called Bald Andy. Well, I mean, I was actually in a Discord call with Sebastian and a few other of the staff members at Motive Racing, and the agreement was that if we reached £1,000 in donations on our Twitch, then Seb would be going bald, or that he would shave his head. But now the tables have turned and they've flipped it on me. They've done the little reverse card, they've done the reverse card trick on me. Fake news. No, it's not, Seb. I'm sure you remember this. Anyway, what happened to you? I thought you couldn't commentate tonight because you're busy revising or busy doing uni work or something. Anyway, only Takara says, go on guys, let's hope no penalties this time. Well, so far, now you mention it, Takara, we've got a few penalties actually on the cards. Looks like Stefano's picked up a 1 second penalty. Kurt Hodgson with a 5 second penalty. So he's going to have to watch out for Pro Fubby behind him. Evans picked up a 2 second penalty so far in this race. Seb says, I know nothing, but I am listening in. Yeah, there we go. So multitasking somehow. I'm not quite sure how he's able to do that. If anyone knows how to multitask, please drop it in the comments. Give me some tips because I'm still trying to learn. 22 years I've been on this earth and I still have got absolutely no idea how to multitask. It's a novel concept, I know. But if anyone can teach me how to do it, please drop it in the comments or send me some tutorials. I'm happy to pay for this information. I really truly am. But yeah, as we see here, we've got a battle starting to materialise here between second and third place, and I think Deck Paint might have had a little bit of a tricky lap this time around because, as we can see, it looks like Sebas and Kurt have both closed that gap. Although having said that, not as much as I initially thought it was. Maybe the Constantina effect there, playing tricks with my eyes. But Stefano is coming into the final turn now, and he's got Kurt Hodgson hot on his heels. Let's keep an eye on the split times here. We know Kurt Hodgson has got a 5 second penalty. So if anything, this is only for pride for Kurt Hodgson, seeing if he can get past Sebas and make some moves here in the last few laps here of this race. Having said that, I wouldn't say last few laps yet. We're just over halfway through this Tier 2 race here at Sonoma National for Motive Racing's GT5 Championship, and it's been a fantastic race so far. We've seen Deck Paint slowly pulling away. We saw a good battle between the pro teammates, Pro Fubby and Pro Alpha. In the end, Pro Fubby getting the better of him and making positions. Evan, Aries Umbro fighting it out for a good few laps. We saw Kurt Hodgson making the move here on Aries earlier on in the race as well. So lots to get involved with. If you're interested in joining us or watching us live on YouTube, be sure to check us out on Discord. That's where all of our racing goes down. Sign up to our championships here at Motive Racing. I'm going to pop the sign up link in the comments section down below, and if you're interested in joining, then you must be a member of our Discord. Just to put that out there, you cannot sign up to our leagues without being a member of our Discord. If you're not on the Discord, then be sure to sign up to that. In the meantime though, we're still watching this battle here, and it looks like, oh, Sebas gets lost. Oh no, we've got a yellow flag. Sebas has lost the car, and it looks like Kurt Hodgson's going to pick up second place. Oh, that's a disaster there for Sebas, getting very, very loose there, coming out of the hairpin in the middle sector, and looks like he's got it going again in clear air, so he's not going to be a threat there from Pro Fubby. But this is now going to throw an extra different twist to this race, because Kurt Hodgson with a 5 second penalty has now got a 4 second gap to Stefano in third. So if Kurt Hodgson can get that gap going, he might end up finishing in second place. But as it stands, due to his 5 second penalty, he will lose that P2. Sebas now knows that he has just got to stay within 5 seconds, but that gap is growing ever more. And you can see there, 9 seconds behind the race leader is Kurt. Sebas is 13 seconds, so about 4 seconds between these boys at this stage in the race. This is going to be nip and tuck in the battle here for second place, and barely anything separating these guys in terms of outright pace. But Deck Paint currently class of the field with a 46.3 last time around, actually 2 tenths quicker than Kurt Hodgson on his previous lap. As we see Deck Paint flashing his lights there, I'm not sure how he knows that we're watching him at this stage, because I must be listening to the stream, because I'm actually in a party chat, so bizarre. But anyway, oh no, he's flashing the back marker, sorry. Silly me. He's flashing the back marker. That's Smoky Devil there, getting way out of the way. Good to see Smoky Devil adhering to the rules and moving over as and when we need him to. And that's what you get at Motive Racing here. These guys very clean, fair racers. And when the blue flags are waved, they always listen and always pay attention. The stewards here will take very, very kindly to that. In the meantime, the battle for P2 and 3 still heating up, because Kurt Hodgson hasn't been able to pull the gap here to Stefano. Still 4 seconds between these guys. Has stayed the same, and we'll be keeping an eye on the timing board to see if Kurt has pulled any gap to him, but I don't think he has this time around. I think if anything, Sebas has closed back in. Obviously we saw last time around Sebas made his spin coming through the hairpin, which must have hindered his progress a lot, but it seems like his tyres are still there, and still got that confidence in the car to keep pushing, as he's keeping that gap to Kurt by not very much at all. Here we come into the final hairpin now. Kurt Hodgson currently sat P2 in this session with a 5 second penalty. You just must remind anyone who's just joining us here, he does have a penalty. He will drop back come the end of the race. Kurt Hodgson over the line, second place. We've got Stefano coming up to the line now. Let's keep an eye on the split times, as we said. So Kurt Hodgson 0.4 of a second faster than Sebastefano last time around. It looks like he is responding to the pressure from Sebastefano, but he does need to pull out a little bit more of a gap if he wants to pick up P2 here in this race. It's going to be very, very close though. As I say, it's going to go down to the wire. The last lap, I feel, in this one. This is round 5, guys, of Motive Racing's GT5 Ginetta Championship, and barely anything between these guys when you look at the timing board. Obviously 4 seconds on the track, but with Kurt Hodgson 5-second penalty, anything can happen here in the later laps here at Sonoma National. Deck Paint in the meantime still doing his thing out front, and last time around Deck Paint fastest of anyone, a 1 minute 45.5, and let's keep an eye and see. Well, we'll try and get a sight on what he's doing this time around, but still absolutely smashing it out the front of the pack. Kurt Hodgson is now more or less keeping the gap the same, so he's keeping him honest. But having said that, what's happened to Deck Paint? Oh, Deck Paint's gone off. Deck Paint goes straight on there over the that sort of cross section where they pass the GP circuit, and now the gap just 2.5 seconds at the front. This is incredible scenes. Deck Paint, what happened to him? He's now got Kurt right behind him. Now, obviously, Deck Paint will be aware that Kurt has got a 5-second penalty, which will make it very, very difficult for Kurt to do anything with this lead, or with this smaller gap that he's got. But Deck Paint needs to be aware now, because maybe his tyres starting to go off or whatever it is. He is now on a knife's edge here. 2.6 seconds. One more mistake, he could find himself falling back into the clutches of Sebastefano. And Sebastefano with a 1-second penalty, so not really a situation that's akin to Kurt Hodgson. The penalty difference in this scenario is actually quite different, but as we can see here, Deck Paint now coming under pressure from Kurt Hodgson, and Kurt Hodgson in a sentence with nothing to lose here in this race. With his penalty, he's going to be really, really pushing it to the limit and trying to get past Deck Paint and get the pride of taking the win on the track, which means that Deck Paint's going to have to be extra aware, and he may be forced to make a difficult decision. Is he going to let Kurt go and get on with it, or is he going to fight it and try and get the win on the track? I know which one Deck Paint would rather do, but it's about being sensible, and it's about keeping a cool head under pressure here, and it's now becoming a very, very difficult situation indeed for Deck Paint. The gap is now under 2 seconds here between himself and Kurt, and as we come through the S's here, we know that Kurt will still be able to be pushing it everything he can despite the 5-second penalty, and as I say, nothing to lose in this scenario. So Deck Paint, with everything to lose, has led this race from the start up until the current point in this race. So now comes a very, very difficult decision indeed, and I wouldn't want to be Deck Paint in this situation. He now has got to decide whether or not he's going to fight Kurt for the win on the track, or whether he's going to settle with the classification and the points victory here. 1.6 seconds separates the front two here at the end of lap 13 onto 14 here for the Tier 2 race here at Sonoma, round 5 of our GT5 Championship here at Motive Racing. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe here on our YouTube channel and join us on Discord if you want to get involved in our racing. Only Sakara says do all start on the same tyres and fuel. It depends on what these guys put in. It's not default setups, it's open setups here at Motive Racing, Sakara. Pardon me, Sakara. So basically these guys can put as much fuel as they want and whatever tyres they want, but obviously the obvious choice in these cars is the slick tyres. You have also got all-weather and wet tyres available as well, as we see now Kurt closing right onto the back here of Deck Paint. Deck Paint's now got to be a little bit worried here, as Kurt we see doing fastest laps. In fact, last time around, Kurt a second faster than Deck Paint, just 0.2 of a second separating these guys here as they come up towards the hairpin. Kurt having a look towards the inside, he's going to go for a dive on the inside. Kurt very late on the brakes. Deck Paint leaves the door absolutely wide open, and a little bit of a bump there pushes Deck Paint towards the outside, and Kurt is up into P1. Incredible stuff, but Deck Paint trying to hold it around the outside. Kurt got to hold up the inside line for the next corner. Looks like he's got to push him out. Into the S's we come. Deck Paint trying to stay side by side, but has to tuck in behind him in the end. It looks like Kurt just in the end had too much pace and too much grip, as Deck Paint now looking to the right hand side of Kurt. Kurt still holding the position for the time being, but Deck Paint's going to pull up to the right hand side and dive up the inside of the hairpin, but Kurt still holding it there. Deck Paint doing a fantastic job of taking the lead once again. And we see now Deckpain back in control of this race. So maybe he just had to catch a glimpse of his opponent to really light that fire inside of him once again. And now Deckpain finds himself back into the lead of the race. They come out onto the pit straight to complete lap 14 here in this race. 5 minutes left to go in this Tier 2 race. Oyi Sakara is saying excited up front. Damage's off. Yes, it is, Sakara. That just means that people don't get punished for other people's mistakes, which I think is the only fair way to go about this. But this is incredible racing, and I think it's just a shame, really, that Kurt Hodgson has the penalty, because if he didn't have this penalty here, then this would be an incredible battle for the race lead. So it's just a shame, really. I mean, if he manages to get past Deckpain and put a 5-second gap, which is looking very unlikely, by the way, at this stage, then good on him. But it looks like that's not going to happen here. So Deckpain, once again, still doing a fantastic job of holding on to the lead, and he doesn't want to lose it on the track. Even if he knows that Kurt has got the penalty, he still wants to hold on and keep his pride here. As Kurt once again looks to the inside, but Deckpain making a very late move to the inside, and Kurt thinking better of that one. This is the corner where Kurt made the lunge up the inside and put it into P1, and then it was out of this corner. Deckpain got the exit. As we see Deckpain going very, very loose here, coming out of the curb, and now Kurt picks up the lead once again. But Kurt, obviously, with the penalty, as we said before, coming through the S's now, Deckpain's going to have to tuck in behind him, and Kurt looks like he's got a reasonably comfortable lead. 0.3 of a second separating these boys as they come down towards the final section of this lap. Incredible stuff here at the front, and Kurt once again showing he's got the pace, and if these guys keep on battling out, they're going to have to watch out for Pro. And we see Pro Fubby is doing absolutely bits in here in third place. Let's have a look back at him. He's done a 1:45.6, that being quicker than absolutely anybody last time around. And Seba Stefano looks like his tyres have gone off, dropping down to fourth place. But we're going to stay with the battle for the lead here as Kurt leads Deckpain over the line to complete lap 15 here. We've got 3 minutes left to go, I believe 2 laps left to go in this race here for round 5 of Motive Racing's GT5 Championship here at Sonoma. It's been an unbelievable battle here between the front two. Kurt and Deckpain have been trading blows, and we see here Deckpain once again pulling alongside Kurt here, coming up to the hill towards the Sector 1 S's, and we see here side by side here once again Kurt just closing the door there on Deckpain, driving across him a little bit, but Deckpain's now going to get a lovely run and goes up the inside here. I'm going to go side by side once again, a little bit of a door slamming there, and we see there, oh, there's a collision between the two, and it looks like Deckpain there flashes his lights and apologises, but these guys have to watch out because Pro Fubby takes the lead of the race. Oh my goodness, this is unprecedented. Pro Fubby ends up with the lead of the race after Deckpain and Kurt Hodgson collide coming through the middle sector, and now they've shot each other in the foot because Pro Fubby, who's been absolutely nowhere for the entirety of this race, now finds himself in the lead. Unbelievable stuff as we see. It looks like, oh no, Kurt's binned it there, coming out of that long left-hander, and he's allowed Deckpain to pick up P2 once again. But Pro Fubby, after being nowhere in this race, just quietly making his way back through the pack, now finds himself in the lead of the race. A lap and a half left to go in this race here for round 5 of our championship here in the GT5s, and this was very unexpected. It looked like Deckpain and Kurt were going to fight out the finish of this race, but it wasn't to be. Pro Fubby was in the right place at the right time, and he was. I remember early in this race, Pro Fubby was down in 6th or 7th place. Had to get past his teammate. In the end, there were some team orders there, which required Alpha to move well out of the way. Alpha's done a good job also of getting up into P4 and keeping that gap to the leaders. But Pro Fubby is going to start the final lap here of this race in the lead of the race. It looks like he's got this, barring any major catastrophes, he should have this race in the bag. He's going to be, looks like he's going to be clear of traffic as well. He should get a clear run to the flag here in this final lap. Deckpain, what could have been for him had a dominant lead for most of this race. It all went wrong. It all started to go wrong about 7-8 minutes from the end of the session, about 3 or 4 laps ago, when he went straight on over the dirt coming through the final sector, and lost about 5 seconds, allowed Kurt to pull right back onto him, and then Kurt managed to close that gap from 2 seconds down to nothing, near enough. Went for a move a couple of times. They went side by side through a few corners, and actually had some really good racing for a couple of laps, and in the end they came together. It looked like maybe 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, just a racing incident. We'll have to review it in the stewards room after the race. The stewards, I'm sure, will be deliberating on this one, but Very unfortunate there for Deck Paint. Looks like he's still going to pick up P2, but it's not going to be a perfect week. It looked like a perfect week maybe for Deck Paint, with wins in the Tier 3 race at Indy, in the GTEs on Monday, and the victory also in the Tier 2 race at Monaco on Tuesday. But Friday it's going to have to settle here for second place as Pro Fubby comes into the final section of this race, and it's a win from nowhere here for Pro Fubby as he comes through the final half a lap here at Sonoma National. It's a win that I don't think he was expecting one bit, but I'm sure he will take it with both hands as Pro Fubby exits the final corner now to take his first victory here at Motive Racing at Sonoma. Fantastic job from Pro Fubby, stuck with it and was in the right place at the right time to capitalise on the collision between this man here, Deck Paint, and it looks like Kurt's dropped back to 5th place. Sevas Stefano in the end picks up the final podium spot. Good job here from Sevas. Pro Alpha, the winner's teammate, comes home in 4th. We got Kurt Hodgson coming round in 5th place. Disastrous end to the race. We saw him going at it with Deck Paint in the later stages, and unfortunately that ended on a very sour note. Kurt Hodgson comes home in 6th. We got Gypsy George coming round the final half a lap in 7th place. Good to see George sticking with it here, and always good to see him out on track. Looks like he's only got one headlight, so that has not really gone to plan for him. May have to turn visual damage off for the Tier 1 race just to avoid any people losing their lights. But Gypsy George here doing a great job, and coming here through the final left section now and up towards the final sector. Evan likewise had a good start to this race, was right there in with a chance, battling it out at near the front, but unfortunately it wasn't to be for our Irishman. Still good to have him out on track also, and Smoky Devil P9 in this one, also good to have him out on track. And when those blue flags were waved, he did a very admirable and dignified job of moving over, so good stuff here from him. He's a lap down, so he won't finish the race. Looks like Pro Alpha, Pro Fubby taking the victory here in this one. Phenomenal job. It looks like Mistech unfortunately disconnected during the race. Deck Paint there taking second. Unfortunate to see him losing the race at the end. Took the fastest lap and pole position, which I'm sure will do absolutely nothing to soften the blow of losing the victory. Picked up a 4-second penalty as well, so when you take that into account, that was a genuine battle there for the lead between himself and Kurt Hodgson. It could have gone either way when you look back at it in hindsight. Sevas Stefano doing a good job there, bringing it home in the final podium spot. Thank you to everybody for joining us. Pro Alpha, Aries Umbra, Kurt Hodgson, Gypsy George, Evan, Smoky Devil, and also to Mistech, who unfortunately disconnected, and Bowie as well. Big shout out to him and to anyone who I've missed here, and also a big thank you to all the viewers here watching us live on Motive Racing's YouTube channel. We're going to end this stream and we're going to start a new one in a few moments time here for Tier 1 of GT5 Championship. Stay tuned, go and get your drinks, go and do what you got to do, and we'll be back very shortly here for the Big Boy League at Sonoma. We're not going anywhere, we'll be back soon. See you guys in a bit.